Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Fahim, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Fahim.
And I would like to introduce Joey Ruzevich now, and Joey is running for the 6th Congressional District in Illinois. Bill, you're welcome to stay on and listen to Joey and hopefully, share some of your insights into the challenges that Joey is facing. Joey, good morning. Welcome to the Lightning Strike.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. And so 6th Congressional District, Sean Casten.
Yes.
Why, Joey? Why? Why Sean? I mean, he's such a great guy. Come on.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly the sentiment we've been hearing.
Well, he runs away when you ask him a question, right?
Yeah. Sorry?
When you ask him a question, he runs away. He does not answer anyone's questions. He's taking money from God knows everyone that is on the planet. And so one day, Joey Ruzevich said, I'm going to challenge Sean Casten.
Yes. So the point that you made about running away from questions, it's far worse than that, unfortunately. Representative Casten does represent the largest group of Palestinians outside of Palestine itself, and he has been voting in lockstep to support Israel during their genocide over the last 2 years. He refuses to meet with his Palestinian constituents. I've talked to a lot of them, and they've reached out over 900 times, and he still refuses to sit down and talk to them, listen to their concerns about how his votes are directly leading to the slaughter of their family members. This is not representation of the people, and that's why I decided, one of the main reasons I decided to jump into this race and run for Congress.
So, Joey, let's talk a little bit about your background.
Sure.
What have you been doing with your life so far? How have you been contributing to the community?
Sure. So I am a 28-year-old software engineer. My first job out of college was doing machine learning research for a subcontractor of the Department of Defense. And then I became a mobile app engineer for a Silicon Valley company where we did Internet of Things devices that you could control from your phones. I now run my own small business where I create mobile apps and I try to help out other small businesses who have been priced out of the technology market. But I've been very interested in politics since I was 17, 18 years old when Bernie Sanders ran for president in 2016. So that was the first time that I volunteered for a campaign that got me interested to pay attention to what he was saying. And I really started to learn as much as possible, read books, listen to lectures, podcasts, all of that to try to drink in as much information as possible. Because as an engineer, I like to understand how things work. I like to understand the underlying mechanisms of a system, the levers of power. And I realized that politics affects every single aspect of our lives. And so this is what I need to learn. I need to know who is making these decisions, why these decisions are being made, and why the deterioration of the American dream has happened over the last 20 to 30 years. So I've done a little bit of work on the local level as well, just volunteering for different charities and food banks, Special Olympics. I love to volunteer for that. And I listened to and volunteered for a gentleman named Andrew Yang in 2019. Andrew Yang ran a company named Venture for America, in which he tried to have a capitalistic solution, encourage people to build companies around social issues and try to do some good in the world while starting a business. He said that during that time he was doing good, but he had a great quote. He said, "It felt like I was pouring a glass of water into a bathtub with a bowling ball size hole at the bottom, and all that water was just draining out." And so he wanted to run for president because he felt like that was the position he could do the most good in. And that is exactly why I'm deciding to run for federal Congress instead of a local race or a state house race, which I admit there are great things to be done, especially with the boycott, divestment, and sanction law that is in Illinois that needs to be repealed. But I do believe that I can do the most good at the federal level because there's the most power there, especially with the artificial intelligence crisis we're facing, the data centers with the electricity. And devaluation of the American dollar over the last 50 years or so that has caused us to be in this economic situation that we're in.
So, Joey, we have a very, very interesting panel today for you. I've got Dr. Sheila White. She is, again, 3 times Emmy nominated, award-winning author, producer, director, media person. We got, Bill Natale over here joining us today.
Yeah.
You just heard what Bill's background is. He's been a major media personality in the Chicago area. I got also Reed Bible, who's joining us. Reed is our regular contributor over here, co-host for the show, former special supervisory agent for the Department of Homeland Security, immigration attorney, Will County board member at one time. And Adriana Alvarez is representing our Gen Z generation. She's one of our producers over here now. So, guys, you got any questions for Joey?
Yeah.
Any suggestions on how to beat the machine?
I have just a comment, Joey. Welcome to the lightning strike. What I love about this generation, I'll say, is that they're not like the baby boomers. This generation comes in ready to lead. They're not sitting back waiting. They're ready to just take that, just to go in there and go to work. And so I love that about this generation. They're just ready to make a difference with things that are going on. I would just like to get your take on some of the infrastructure things that you would like to do within your district.
Sure. So a lot of what we see is that federal money is constantly going towards war, and I would like to reappropriate those funds, direct them back to the district. So I sat down with an Elmhurst City Council member, and he said that there are still lead pipes all over Elmhurst, running water to people's homes, and it would cost about $10,000 per home to take out those lead pipes and replace them. There's 1.25 million homes that have lead pipes in Elmhurst, so it'd be about $12.5 million. That's very difficult for a locality to raise, or to put that burden on the homeowner. So if we are able to reappropriate some funds away from the $1 trillion Pentagon budget that we have, which certainly has waste, fraud, and abuse, that just so happened that Elon Musk and Doge didn't want to touch the Pentagon when they were in there slashing and burning away, we can do that. We can reappropriate funds away from endless war and direct them back towards the community for tangible goods, like replacing lead pipes for people, like building out infrastructure, like providing last mile public transportation. Again, an example in Elmhurst, they have one trolley that runs for free just within the city limits. You could purchase multiple of those. You could purchase multiple electric buses, build out the infrastructure to provide a tangible benefit to the American people so that their quality of life is better and better each year.
Joey, one of the
Joey,
things that I'm sorry, Sheila, go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah, I just have another question. What is your plans to help the small businesses? A lot of small businesses are going under today. And so what are your
Yes.
plans to help the small businesses in that particular district so that they can kind of survive in these trying times?
Absolutely. I've been speaking to a lot of small businesses, and one of the main things that they say is that they are dealing with the pressures of monopolies in every single market that they face. I spoke to a beekeeper who creates raw honey and honey products at the American Muslims for Palestine conference yesterday. And they told me that honey is one of the second most faked foods in the world, just behind olive oil. So this is a great example where the federal government needs to step in and have some real regulation and testing for honey products so that we're not being sold, sugar syrup instead of actual honey. And the small businesses have the opportunity to compete in a market where people are doing those shortcuts and able to lower their prices for their fake honey versus when they're selling real honey at a small business. Another example that I would give is grocery stores and anybody that runs a restaurant. The price of meat has gone through the roof over the last 20 years. And that is largely due to the consolidation of companies in the agriculture market. We have, I think, 4 major meat packers in the United States. We need to break up these monopolies and allow the competition to drive down prices for everybody. Another example that I give that affects everybody is that 3% credit card fee that we're all paying now. It used to be that that fee was about 1%. And so the businesses would eat that cost because it really wasn't that big of a deal. But once you start getting to 3, 4, 5%, you're cutting into the margins of small businesses that are already on the margins, barely scraping by. And so they have to push that cost onto the consumer. The reason why that credit card processing fee has been going up and up and up is because there are only 2 or 3 credit card processing companies in the world. They say that it's because of safety, data security, but we can have standards that small businesses that want to start up a processing company are able to follow. And then you can have more competition in the market that drives down those prices for those small businesses to the point where you get it down to below 1% of a credit card
Right.
processing fee.
Can
But that's
I ask, when it comes to the Palestinian population, is it in Downers Grove? Is it in Lombard, Elmhurst, or is it all over?
It's spread all over the district, certainly, but there is a high contingency in what's called Bridgeview, Illinois. That's Little Palestine, but it's Bridgeview, Palis Park, Palis Hills, Orland Park, Tinley, the southwest suburbs. But there are Arab and Muslims, and specifically Palestinians, all over the district.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So, Joey, I wanted to come back to some of the questions that I had for you. Which are can you list any of the major endorsements that your campaign has received or is seeking so far?
Yes, we have been endorsed by the West Illinois Suburban Chicago DSA. I just spoke to the Cook County DSA and applied for that endorsement. I'm hoping that that comes through as well. We have been endorsed by the Cook County Latino Democrats. And we are seeking several other endorsements, especially from unions. I met with a major union organizer yesterday. We had lunch, and he's very excited about my campaign. He's a part of the Meat Cutters Union, which is heavily Hispanic, and they have been getting terrorized by ICE in Chicago. And current Representative Sean Casten has failed to speak out about this until very, very recently. I actually created a video showing that on his Twitter account, I searched, Rep. Sean Casten Broadview. You can search, has this person said this word on Twitter? And there were no results. And so I posted a video of that, and it just so happens that 2 days later, he starts to talk about it. So it's too little, too late. The people needed him to stand up and speak out when ICE and Greg Bonvino were, terrorizing all of the neighborhoods of Chicago, not just in Broadview, but all across District 6. And the fact that he didn't is leading to a lot of discontent in these communities. So,
no, Joey, yesterday I was invited to a family function in Glendale Heights, and we drove from my home to Glendale Heights. I did not see a single snowplow on the road. I'm talking like 55 and 355 major roads, right? And when I went there, someone remarked that it is all because of ice. A lot of the snowplow operators are afraid to come out and clean the streets now, because these people are usually landscapers who turn around and do these things in winter. So thank you, President Trump, for ice. I mean, these guys have screwed up our country every which way. And all of these people in Congress are so afraid of speaking up because they might be primaried or they might lose their funding from their APAC sponsors. I'm so glad that people like you are willing to step up and challenge the status quo over there. Bill, you had a question for Joey?
Well, Joey, do you intend to debate Sean Casten at some point in the near future?
Absolutely. I would love to have that set up. We've been speaking to the League of Women Voters that usually host town halls and debates. We're also speaking to the Letter Carriers Union that would potentially host a candidate forum. Not necessarily a debate, but an opportunity for us to both be on stage together answering the same questions. But I would love to debate Representative Caston because during that debate, I'm going to make sure that he has to answer for all of the things that he has refused to answer for during the last 6 to 8 years of his being in office, specifically for the support for the genocide. I mean, there is no excuse for somebody who represents the largest Palestinian population to be supporting Israel so staunchly. And I think, the $300,000 that he's received from the Israeli and AIPAC lobby might have something to do with that. But once we get on stage, I'm going to press him very hard on that issue in particular and many, many other issues, especially his claim to being for clean energy and energy production and the lack of delivering that he's done over the last several years.
Well, Joey, I just wanted to let everyone who's listening know that we are planning an online debate for all candidates in about 4 different congressional districts. So we'll be looking at the 6th, we're looking at the 9th, we're looking at the 8th, and we're looking at the 7th also.
Excellent.
So that's somewhere in January. So you're the first person to know that. So keep prepared. And if they don't show up, they don't show up. We had a debate for our local, municipality over here for our mayor's race. And Sheila is chuckling. We invited all the 4 candidates. 3 of them did not show up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We only had the mayor who was running again show up. And we took pictures of him sitting over there with 3 empty chairs beside him.
Yeah.
And that won him the election. Okay. Because people were like, this shows how committed they are to answering people in a public forum. So yeah, we're going to be definitely setting up something in January. And thank you so much for joining us, Joey. And how can people find more information about you? How do we support you?
Absolutely. Please go to joey4congress.com. That's my website. We're going to be updating it very shortly. And then you can also follow on social media. It's Joey Ruzevich, IL6 on all social medias. There's a Facebook page where we post all of our events. And you can provide a small donation if you absolutely can. We're going up against a fully funded machine Democrat. So ActBlue /donate/Joey Ruse is the way to do it. And thank you very much for having me. I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
You're very welcome. So what's your fundraising goal now, Joey?
We have a very high fundraising goal for December and the end of Q1, but we won't share exact numbers. We want people to be pleasantly surprised with how well we've been doing in Q4 and come out of the gate swinging in Q1.
Awesome. I'll give Adriana the final word as a Gen Z. Adriana, you got anything for Joey?
No, it's just very interesting to hear what you have to say, as well as I really, really liked how you were talking about when you do talk with this individual that they are going to answer the questions that they have been tiptoeing around. That's something that I think we're seeing a lot more of, and it's stirring up a lot of commotion, stirring up a lot of trouble because we're not just sitting down quietly, standing idly by while this is happening. Like we will push back. Um make we will make a commotion because it's something that we care about, we're passionate about, and it's not just going to sit aside.
Absolutely. As the late great John Lewis said, get in good trouble. And that's what I'm trying to do.